First of all, I started in this business in 2007, so at the very beginning, right? So I think our colleagues from M-Pesa were 1 year old. And I've been impressed that we managed to impact so many lives, about 500 million active accounts now. So to me, I'm impressed, right? So I didn't expect such a revolution. And yeah, you can still hope that it should have accelerated even more. But the truth is that we gave, for the first time in their lives, an account to 500 million people who are actually using it every month. And to me, it's massive. It's a revolution. And you don't see that sometimes in 50 years. So I'm personally impressed. We're working hard to accelerate, but it already changed Africa and Asia. For the first, let's say 15 to 20 years, because it's a very young industry, the growth has been mostly driven by the active base, right? So adding new customers. What we see more and more is it's not so much about adding more customers. We would do that, but now it's about adding more use cases, right? So, and we see a few, I would say 2-3 important use cases. One is what we'll call ecosystem transaction or platform play approach, whereby you make it easy for third parties to connect to your customers and basically sell their services. So basically, these are not services you develop, but that can be anything from gaming, content, online payments, different things, right? So that's one, and we try to make it easier and easier for these companies to self-integrate to our platform. Second is payment, merchant payment or acquiring business, as financial institutions would call them. If you take Tanzania, at Action, for example, we have close to 200,000 active merchants. So we're accepting payments every day, every month, and that grows very quickly. And what is important with this one is it's about digitalizing everyday's payments. And that's the new frontier for us, right? So I think we've been very good at domestic money transfer, international money transfer. Now it's about all these small expenses, like going to the grocery shop, going to the restaurant, that we need to remove the cash and make sure it's paid digitally. The third one that is very important, because to me that's the ultimate goal for all of us in financial inclusion, is access to credit, access to financial services. That's something we develop aggressively at Action. We have our own credit risk team. We develop our own scorecards. We leverage artificial intelligence to basically make an instant decision and lend to people who, for the first time in their life, can actually borrow. Individuals do that, but more and more SMEs and entrepreneurs. So we believe that by doing so, will allow these entrepreneurs and ultimately the countries where we operate to rise and prosper. So we believe that these are the priorities for us to keep growing and build or retain a competitive advantage. So first thing is, at Action, we don't call that adjacent services. We believe that this is our new core business. We have some geographies where credits, so what I call true financial services, are our biggest revenues, not just in terms of growth, in absolute value. I think we're probably one of the first across Africa where financial services became our core business, so not more transaction fees. So for us, it's extremely important, and we push very hard in access to credit, right? So typically, Madagascar, we even have a commercial bank license. So we do on-balance sheet lending, we drive innovation. We just launched a 6-month 10-year loan. So that's something very important for us. In other markets, we also partner with banks, and we grow in one of our biggest markets. We grew the disbursements, so loans, 5 times over the last few months. So for us, that's core. InsurTech is something we believe in, and to be honest, that we haven't cracked yet. But we believe that's the next wave of growth, and that's very important in terms of impact to the populations, right? So that's something we want to crack, focusing a lot on credit right now. So, but the key is, it's not adjacent, it's the new core. I think the key is payment. Of course, we'll add other use cases, but basically payments and, interestingly, domestic payments. So again, digitalizing everyday's transaction. But something we work on aggressively at Axion is also cross-border payments. I'm not talking about remittance, but it's also allowing a SME, like a grocery shop, let's say in Madagascar, to procure something, let's say in Comoros, and pay for it, right? So, and it's not just the payment. So one is making that cross-border payment happen, but what kind of service do you give to that merchant? Can you give them like an invoicing feature? Can you give them everything they need to do that, what is actually trade, not remittance? So we believe, again, payment, domestic is going to be massive. We believe cross-border payment, especially in regions in Africa that are very integrated. So take West Africa, it's like a whole community, right? So you have big trade between all the markets. You take Togo, there's one of our beloved Axion OpCo. It's a country that is, deeply integrated to its neighbors, right? So you take, Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin. So they do a lot of trade. So allow them to move that trade from cash to digital payment. It's massive. We're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars every year. So payment is going to be the key.